What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review, and this time we are reviewing Armchair Thriller Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4. And the title is called Rachel in Danger. This is directed by Waris Hossein and written by John Bowen. Produced by Thames. I think Thames produces the whole show. It's weird that, no, Southern will eventually produce two of the episodes, or two of the stories. And it looks like this aired February 21st through March 2nd, 1978. Before we move any further, please remember, if you want to see everything a week earlier, please check the link in the description below. That'll take you over to the Patreon where you can sign up and get everything a full week earlier. Bye, bud. But you're gonna have to actually go. If you're no hanging out on the edge, go. Thank you. And yeah, so that was so good. This was so good. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to stay awake for 6 episodes in the future. We're gonna have to find a way, because if they're like 25 minutes long, 50. I mean, that's almost 2 hours. Like, I would have to start right at 11, end at 1. I don't know. That's going to be tough. I think I can make it. We'll see. But, super good episode. Super good episodes. Oh, I didn't mean to actually close them down, though. Damn it. Sorry. I'm out of the loop here. So, to give you a rundown of this whole story, because again, we're talking about the story, not the individual episodes. Even though episode 2 ended really messed up, because it ended messed up. But there's this girl named Rachel. She's on a train and she's going to go see her dad. Her mom sent her away to go see her dad for vacation. She hasn't seen her dad in 8 years. She's been writing him quite often, reading his letters. She's a very, very, very proper little girl. So then, her dad was in South Africa for college, teaching, I believe, maybe. Yeah, I believe he was teaching, and was on his way back, and came to London, and his daughter was traveling from some other place over there in Europe into London to come see him. And he basically sets up, he goes out and buys flowers and stuff for her, has a room set up for her for when she comes to visit in the flat that he's in. And then he sees somebody out in public that he recognizes. And the guy, at this point, I don't even know if he actually recognizes him at all. Like, I feel like he might think that he recognizes him, but the guy might have been pretending that he was this person that this dude knew. And, like, they get back, like, he invites him over to the flat for tea, and the guy comes over, and they're sitting there talking, and he's like, yeah, he's telling him all this information that you wouldn't tell somebody even if you knew them, and you hadn't seen them in years. Like, he's going in details. Nobody knows I'm here. I don't really have any friends. He doesn't go on to say that his daughter was coming to visit, but he was like, the phone's not turned on, like telling him all this stuff that does not come up in casual conversation. And then basically, the guy ends up killing him. Rachel's dad, which, sucks. So then, like, Rachel ends up getting in town. She's sitting in the police station. The police station is like, hey, well, she ends up sitting in the police station because she'd been sitting at the airport or bus station for so long, and the police were like, yeah, she's out there on her own. She's been here for 45 minutes. Let's bring her in and just, try and figure out if we can find out where her dad is. So she tells them everything that she knows. They go over to the flat, and they find him there. And that was when he found out that he was going to have a daughter, or the guy's daughter show up. There were some things before it. Like, he walked into the bedroom and realized that there's like a Rachel, welcome Rachel thing. He goes and reads a letter on the body of the person that he finds, and finds out that there is a letter for Rachel. And then he hides the body. But like the police show up, they're like, "Hey, so and so's at the station. Do you know who she is?" And he asks my daughter. He goes to the station, and since she hasn't seen him in 8 years, she doesn't know what he actually looks like. So like she goes in to talk to him, or he goes in to pick her up, and when he gets in, the police ask him some questions. He's constantly taking off his glasses, which he stole from her dad, because they give him a headache because they're not his prescription. And they kind of question him about it, and he's waves it off. It's a very weird transition for the group. So then he goes on to take her home, and when they get in, there's another woman there. That's the end of that episode. Next episode, he goes in, he tells the lady, "Hey, this is my daughter. She's going to be staying with us for a little bit." And you find out they're actually there to assassinate some political head. I don't know who it is. He looks like he's from Africa or Zimbabwe, something like that, right? And I'm sure they probably mentioned somewhere who he is, but I don't know who he is. So, they pretend that this Japanese lady is Rachel's stepmom, and he's pretending that he's Rachel's dad, and actually acting the part. And then we get kind of this struggle between Rachel's fake stepmom and stepdad, or stepmom and dad, where it's like a power struggle between the two because they work for whatever organization that they work for, and she wants to just unalive the girl immediately, and he's like, no, we can use her, we can hide behind something. And she's like, they get into like this huge argument where like he has to strong arm her, and he's like, no, look, the point is to get in, get out, and not be seen. And she's like, no, we just need to get in, handle the job, and then leave. So it's two very different ways. And he's like, look, everyone that everyone knows who they are. I don't want people to know who I am, because if people don't know who I am, I can continue working. So she reluctantly agrees. They bring his boss over to have a conversation with him, and he wants to unalive the little girl ASAP, and the guy's like, no, we can use her. And then there's another guy that doesn't want her hurt at all. He comes into play later. At the end of this episode, there's some other like familial Rachel interaction with them type things, but at the end of the episode, she washes dishes, goes to dry the dishes, grabs a towel, and it's very... She needs a new towel, so she goes down to the linen closet to get a new towel. And when she opens it up, her dad's body falls right in front of her. Both her and me were like, because I wasn't expecting that to happen this soon. Like, don't get me wrong, at some point I expected her to find the body, because, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to happen right there. So, because we're only 2 episodes, like, that's the end of the second episode. There's 2 more episodes. Like, what do they do to continue this? That's like an end of episode 3, and then she has a full episode to try and get away type thing. That's how I was seeing it. So, next episode, she hurries up, gets the body back in the closet. Dad comes out, and they're supposed to go shopping. And she's like, yeah, I don't feel well. And he's like, all right, go lay down. And then, like, he starts asking her some questions. And she's like, yeah, I just didn't know where I needed a towel to finish the dishes. There should be some down in the linen closet. That's where you would normally keep them. And he asks his wife to go get a towel. And this is Rachel testing her. So, like, she goes down, she gets a towel, hands the towel over. It's like, yeah, here, I got a towel. This is how Rachel knows that something is up. Like, there's no way they didn't see the dead body type up, right? So she goes in. She eventually says that she feels better and that she's ready to go shopping because she needs to buy a new dress for the event that they're supposed to be going to the next day. So they go out, and she writes 2 different letters. They only show her and her dad dropping one off in the thing because she's writing a thank you letter to the lady that works at the police. But she also writes like a secret letter, like saying she needs help because there's a dead body in the linen closet. And sorry guys, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I work days, almost 2. So they go to the place to buy clothes. She goes to try on a dress, and while she's in there, she lays the letter down somewhere, and then she like walks out and runs off, and her dad has to chase her through the neighborhood and stuff like that. So later on, as she's running away, they get back into the house because he eventually catches her. And while she was gone, the fake wife finds a linen inside the wicker basket and realizes that the little girl knows what's going on. So when they get back in, she holds up the towel and she's like, she knows. And he's like, I know she knows. At which point the Asian lady that is his fake wife wants to kill off the little girl, and he's like, no, we can still use her. So one of the guys is supposed to be helping them get letters to get them into the gala that they're supposed to be doing, whatever their unaliving attempt is. Assassino. He comes in and he's like, hey, can I see the one that I gave you before, because he had made one that was just the 2 of them, but since his daughter was going to show up, they now needed one with all 3 names on it. And he's like, I just want to compare the right text to see if it's right. And like the guy hands it to him and he looks at it and he compares and he's like, yeah, I did a really good job doing this. And he sits down and he's like, look, this is what's going to happen. I already know what you guys are thinking. You're not going to kill this little girl. He was like, so here's the plan. I'm going to take these with me because I got to make sure I can actually leave here. He's like, I want to help the organization. He says, but not at the risk of the little girl. And he was like, you're going to find me in a park on a specific bench in the area. You're going to approach me, and I will give you the pass as soon as I see that the little girl's okay, so that you didn't do anything to her before you come see me. He's like, and then after the party is over, I will be standing by the gate, and as you walk out, you will hand her to me, and you will go off and do your thing, and I'll go do mine. You guys will have time to get away. I don't want to even stop you from doing what you're doing. I just want to make sure that the little girl's safe. They agree to it because they need the passes to get inside. So he goes, sleeps in a park so that no one can find him because he knows they're going to try and find him to kill him and take the passes. The organization ends up hiring another hitman to take him out after they get the pass, so that whole situation is taken care of. And then the job is going to be, they're going to take care, like they're going to unalive the little girl, and then they're going to get on a plane and fly to wherever it is that they're supposed to go to get out of Dodge, right? And they have this parasol that they have turned into a gun as well, which is a super cool invention. Now, while they're having that meeting about with the hitman, Rachel takes some putty that she'd been playing with almost all episode in her free time and shoves it into the gun somehow that they're going to be using to do the unaliving thing at the event. This comes back to play because they don't actually show her put it in there. I'm just telling you they do. And yeah, so that's what happens. So next day they go out. They end up meeting the guy on the park bench. He gives them the pass. And as they leave, the guy that they hired to take him out shows up at the bench and sits down and sitting there talking. He's showing him this food, and he leans over to show them the guy some food, and then he stabs him. He shanks him while he's showing him the food, and then he gets up and walks away, which, by the way, was absolutely ingenious and a bit crazy. So they go, and Well, they go inside to do the deed, and as they get a direct line of sight, he makes his fake wife put her arm around the little girl's throat, in a protecting way to make it look like she's protecting him, but in a way that if the little girl screams, she can stop her. And he's still doing this whole portrayal, pretending that he is her dad. And he's like, as scary as this is going to be, Dad's got to do this. And I just want you to know, like, I love you, but the job is more important right now because it's something that needs to be done to help a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. And so he puts together the little parasol, puts the silencer on it, puts the scope on it, pulls his hand up, goes to fire it, and instead of it shooting, it backfires and kills him because she'd shoved the putty inside of it to jam up the barrel. And at that point, she gets away and walks away, and somewhere in there, the police get the letter. By the way, I'd never mentioned this. I skipped over this. At some point, the police get the letter. They go investigate the apartment. They realize that there is a person in the cupboard, and it's probably her dad. And the episode ends with Rachel getting ready to go back home, and Molly, who is, I believe her name is Molly. Their share of grief. I don't remember. It's not John. There's Rachel, police sergeant, caretaker, Peter. It doesn't actually have her name on the little list of characters here. But I think it's Molly. And I could be wrong, though. But she's with Rachel at the very, very, very end of the episode. She's talking about everything's okay now. You're going to go back home to your mom and everything's going to be fine. And when she said that, I was like, everything's not going to be fine. Like, her dad's dead. She came to spend time with her dad. She's been writing her dad. She wants to be with her dad. And her dad's dead. Like, it's not going to be okay. At least not for a while. And then immediately, Rachel's like, my dad's dead. And police sergeant lady hugs her. And that's how the episode ends. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I know this is technically a thriller. That's why it's called Armchair Thriller, right? It's not technically horror. I've always considered thriller a part of the horror genre. It's kind of like its own, for me, it's kind of like its own little subgenre, because if you want to be technical, things like Silence of the Lambs are thrillers, and I still consider that a horror thing. There's nothing, honestly, in anything more scary than situations that could happen in real life. That's how I see it. Now, with that being said, this still doesn't scare me, just like horror doesn't scare me, okay? Nothing scares me as far as what I watch. Nothing ever, like, honestly, the only time I've ever been scared watching anything, it was never while I was watching anything. It was after I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when I was like a wee little one. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and my mom decided she was going to tell me that it was about a crazy family that used to live around us in Indiana. And she did it to mess with me. Okay, I'm not mad at her for it or anything. It's the only time anything that I ever watched ever made me any kind of scared. But so far, between everything we've seen in the Twilight Zone, between everything we've seen in, at this point, Bangkok Haunted was one of the first ones that we finished. We also finished Patient 7. We finished this. We're like we're not halfway through, but we're getting through Twilight Zone. We're getting there. It's like 40 episodes. We've made it through 10. We're like a fourth of the way there. That's just season 1. This is, in my opinion, the best story we've covered so far. Did it take 4 30-minute episodes to get through it? Yes. Is the next one going to take 6 30-minute episodes to get? But I'm excited for it. Like, this did not feel like we sat here for almost 2 hours watching a show. Damn, that was good. That was good. And I'm excited to see where that all goes later. Super good, super epic story. We've got like I said, we've got 4 more stories to get through. The next one is called A Dog's Ransom, and it's 6 episodes to get through. So the way the first series or the first season of this goes, the first series, the first story is 4 episodes. Then it's the second story is 6 episodes. The third story is 4 episodes, and then the last 2 stories are 6 episodes apiece. So we're gonna be on a ride. We're gonna be doing this for a while. Not a while. It's only 5 stories, but I'm excited. Anyways, guys, that is gonna do it for this review. Again, if you have a chance, check this show out. It is really good. There, you can find it on Dailymotion. Okay, I'm just saying. Or you can buy it off of Amazon or whatever. Either way, however it is that you can get it, check it out. It's worth it. With that being said, though, thank you guys for hanging out with you. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.